Hi there, and welcome to Whispering, the moment where we take a little pause from the busyness of life and check in with ourselves. I am In, and I am so glad you're here. Let me ask you this: how are you today? No, really, how are you really doing? Sometimes we say I'm fine or I'm okay out of habit, but I want to take a moment for you to go deeper. Are you carrying any worries, celebrating any joys, or simply trying to stay afloat? In today's episode, we are going to slow down and reflect together. I'll share a story from my own life that made me stop and think about the question, how am I really doing? And by the end, I hope you will feel a little more connected with yourself and maybe even inspired to check in with someone else too. So, let's take you back to a moment from my week that really made me think. It was a cold, crisp winter morning, the kind where your breath makes little clouds in the air and the ground crunches beneath your feet. I decided to walk through the park near my home. It is something I do when I need to clear my head. As I strolled past the empty playground and the towering trees, my attention was drawn to a woman sitting alone on a wooden bench. She had on a long gray coat, a neat scarf wrapped tightly around her neck, and a paper coffee cup cradled between her hands. But it wasn't her outfit that caught my attention. It was her expression. She was staring at the ground, her shoulders slightly hunched, as if the weight of the world was resting on her back. Her face was unreadable, yet so full of unspoken emotion. Was she sad, lost in thought, or just tired from life's endless demands? I walked past her, but something about her lingered in my mind. Her stillness in the midst of the park's quiet, beauty filled familiar. It reminded me of a time in my life when I feel like I was carrying something too heavy to share. I remember 2 years ago, during one of the most difficult seasons of my life, I found myself in a similar place. I had just gone through a breakup, a relationship that I would think lasts forever. Suddenly, the future I had planned felt like it had disappeared overnight. I remember one evening in particular. It was raining, not a dramatic thunderstorm, but just steady, melancholic drizzle that seems to mirror how you're feeling inside. I was sitting by the window of my tiny apartment, watching raindrops race each other down the glass. The room was dark, except for the warm glow of a single lamp next to me, and in front of me was a cup of tea, which now cold because I would been too lost in my thoughts to drink it. Suddenly, my phone buzzed, breaking the silence. I picked it up and I saw a message from one of my friends. three simple words. How are you? At first, I almost typed, I'm fine. That would have been the easy answer, the answer we are conditioned to give. But something stopped me. I hesitated, my fingers hovering over the keyboard, and then I started typing. What came out was messy. I told her I feel lost, like I didn't know who I was anymore. I admitted that I missed the version of me that I believed in happy endings. When I hit send, I immediately regretted. Would she think I was being dramatic? Would she know what to say? To my surprise, her response came quickly. Can I call you? The phone call changed everything. She didn't have any magical advice or solution, but she listened. She let me cry. She reminded me that it was okay to feel broken for a while, and that healing isn't linear. That moment taught me something profound. Sometimes we don't need answers. We just need someone to ask, how are you? And we really mean it. Someone to listen. Back to the present as I walked through the park that day, thinking about the woman on the bench. I wondered what her story might be. Was she waiting for someone to ask her how she was? Would she brush them off with a polite, I'm fine, or would she open up? I didn't stop to talk to her. I could keep walking, and part of me regrets that. Maybe she didn't need a stranger to ask her how she was. Or maybe she did. I will never know. But it reminded me how often we sit with our emotions, hoping someone will notice, even if we don't say any word. And it made me think about how important it is to reach out, not just when we see someone struggling, but even when they seem okay, because okay isn't always the whole story. So that brings me to today's question. How are you really feeling? It is easy to move through our days on autopilot, checking things off our to-do list, scrolling through our phones, or even putting on a brave face for the people around us. But when was the last time you paused to check in with yourself? Here is a little exercise I like to do when I'm feeling overwhelmed or unsure. Maybe you can try it right now, wherever you are. First, take a deep breath in and let it out. Second, ask yourself, what's on my mind right now? What emotions am I feeling? And last, don't judge your answers. Just notice it. If you are feeling happy, celebrate that. If you are feeling tired, acknowledge that. If you are feeling anxious or sad, give yourself permission to sit with those feelings. And here is another thought. When was the last time you checked in with someone else? Sometimes a simple "How are you?" can make a world of difference. especially if it comes with the time and space for them to answer honestly. So, as we wrap up today's episode, I want to leave you with this. The question, how are you, might seem simple, but it is an invitation. It is an opportunity to connect with yourself and with the people around you. The next time someone asks you how you are doing, consider giving them the real answer. And the next time you ask someone how they are doing, make sure you are ready to listen. Thank you for spending this time with me today. If you enjoy this episode, don't forget to subscribe and share it with someone who might need a little reminder to slow down and check in. Take care of yourself and remember, you matter.